21st century, and how it allows us to develop the critical thinking skills to sift through misinformation-filled online landscape, lower our stress levels, and increase our attention spans. Please give it up for Angus and Miller!
Do you read?
Can you enthusiastically say that even today you devour books like a lion devouring a raw steak?
Perhaps you can't. Perhaps you're one of those people whose bookshelves are piled high with books you'll never read and who always complains about never having enough time to read anymore.
Or maybe reading is just something that's never interested you.
Well, whatever the case, we hope today to inspire you on your reading journey. Hello, Indro and Geronimo, and welcome to our TEDx talk. Let me just start by saying that we love reading, but with the constant increase in school, studies and outside commitments we've faced, we've found ourselves reading less and less. But recently we've been trying to change this, not only for our own enjoyment, but also for the development of our ever-growing brains.
As Aristotle once said, speech is the representation of the experiences of the mind, and writing is the representation of speech. And this goes both ways. In the brain, language comprehension, e.g. reading, is controlled in a little space called Wernicke's area. Today we'll have Miller portraying this.
Hi all, I'm Wernicke. I'm located in the posterior third of the upper temporal convolution of the left hemisphere of the brain, where that red dot is.
And I'll be Broca's area, located in the cortex of the dominant frontal lobe. I'm in charge of speech production.
Now, as brain areas, we have this little neural connection between us. For now, we'll have this charger represent the neural connection. This is what it would look like on someone that's never read before. It's small, it's weak, it's pathetic. There's not much going on here.
But on the brain of a proficient reader, the neural connection will look something more like this. Imagine the amount of information this bad boy will be able to carry, and all thanks to a bit of reading.
And with that out of the way,
my name is Angus Kennedy.
and my name is Miller Braithwaite.
And today we're going to talk to you about the importance of reading and show you how it can be used to develop many critical 21st century skills, including
critical thinking,
concentration,
and stress management. Now, don't worry, we hear you.
You're probably looking at this list of incredible benefits gained from reading and thinking to yourself, why is any of this important?
Or perhaps you're even wondering how reading manages to achieve these effects. Well, do I have good news for you?
We will be going over each and every one of these in excruciatingly acute detail. By the end of this, we swear you'll understand exactly how reading creates benefits and why these benefits are important to you.
So how about we kick things off by talking about everyone's favourite 21st century skill, critical thinking.
Now, why is critical thinking important?
Well, misinformation has always been a huge part of the news cycle, and with the ease of posting online, this has only become more prevalent than ever. We had a friend tell us, plain seatbelts were there to kill you for insurance money. Misinformation is getting wacky, and people are believing it.
Additionally, the rise of the internet has also led to a massive increase in conspiracy theories, many of which having significantly detrimental impacts both online and in real life. Critical thinking allows us to sift through the sea of information, discern what we need to pay attention to, and identify what we don't.
As online mental health journal Be Brain Fit puts it, critical thinking ensures your opinions are well informed and based on the best available facts. Critical thinking can also assist your professional skills, social skills, and your aptitude at academic writing. Who doesn't want to be apt at academic writing?
In conjunction with this, critical thinking has also been proven to make you more receptive to new information, as well as increasing your empathy. The analysis skills it builds are also invaluable in the modern professional world, as well as the world of academic writing we currently inhabit. But that still leaves us with one question. How exactly does reading build our critical thinking?
Well, reading invites so many different new thoughts and possibilities into our brains.
Think of the world of Lord of the Rings, full to the brim of imagination and innovation.
Or how about the creativity and ingenuity of long-running book series such as The Series of Unfortunate Events.
Or even the endlessly interesting books on dinosaurs that captivated so many of us as children.
I love dinosaurs. But whether we read fiction or non-fiction, we're constantly being exposed to new ideas we've likely never encountered before. Every human has different thoughts, and reading and critical thinking allows us to step inside the heads of others and understand each other's unique perspectives.
Wouldn't you want to identify and employ ideas and techniques of writers of the past, such as Harper Lee?
Or how about astronauts such as Chris Hadfield?
Or maybe even you want to get a better understanding of modern-day activists and philosophers like Malala Yousafzai or Abigail Thorne. All of this is imperative for strengthening our critical thinking. It has also been proven that, despite what you may think, even reading fiction is incredibly useful for developing our critical thinking skills.
As online mental health journal Success Consciousness puts it, in fiction, we are constantly being exposed to new ideas. These ideas have themes that lie among them. Reading books with themes that challenge you and are relevant to society forces you to think deeper and more critically about the world we currently inhabit. Even so, reading non-fiction is still a hugely important pathway to building critical thinking.
When we read non-fiction, well, yes, we are given facts. The writer also weaves into the text the way that they understand these facts. It is then up to the reader to make their conclusions, assessing how the facts are put together and how the author has built up their arguments on this basis.
This, surprise, surprise, is us practicing critical thinking in a way that is incredibly important for its development and enhancement.
Because like any skill, the more you practice critical thinking, the more proficient you become.
Now, that's critical thinking out of the way. How about we take a look at a little something I like to call concentration.
In the modern world, we are constantly nagged by millions of tiny things, all screaming and demanding our full attention. In fact, a recent survey by the University of California estimates that we are bombarded with 34 gigabytes of information a day.
34 gigabytes? That's a massive amount of information. And it's one of the most defining factors for the steadily declining young attention spans of young people.
It has been proven time and time again that having a strong attention span is incredibly important. It can cause you to have trouble hearing what people are saying, lose vital communication skills, and lead to you making a variety of mistakes and poor judgmental decisions. All of this goes to show that having a strong attention span is fabulously important.
As one online mental health journal said, if your brain keeps going from one thought to another, like a car without brakes, if every beep of your cell phone captures your attention and you feel compelled to look at the screen, how can you focus effectively on anything?
What can I say?
Bear with us. We've been reading too much, practicing our critical thinking skills.
Yeah. And while reading is not a cure-all for the problems we all face in maintaining concentration, it is a definite fact that it can help.
Reading puts a massive strain on our mind, forcing us to devote all of our attention to the task at hand. And while you may think speech and image processing require similar levels of attention, that is just not the case. When we watch TV or movies, it's astonishingly easy to barely pay attention and still get the gist of the plot.
Whereas if we are unfocused while reading, we literally lose the plot of the story. This high level of attention that reading requires acts as a sort of training exercise for the brain, improving your attention in the long term.
Reading is also great for providing a quick boost to your concentration. If you feel unfocused and can't get anything done, a great way to fix this is to take a break and do some reading. That's critical thinking out of the way, and that's concentration out of the way. How about we take a look at the most important thing reading does? It reduces our stress.
The world is rapidly becoming a more stressful and nerve-wracking place. According to the Australian Mental Health Organisation, Beyond Blue, over 1 in 4 Australians are currently living with anxiety.
That's a large amount of people, but it's not hard to see why. When scrolling through the internet or reading the news, we're constantly exposed to stories of greed and war, and it's just some pretty gloomy stuff.
The stress this seemingly endless spew of horror and hate creates can also lead to increased stress in our day-to-day life. The impacts on our health are immense. High stress levels over an extended period can lead to breathing problems,
High blood pressure,
acid reflux,
headaches and other body aches,
anger, compromised immune systems,
type 2 diabetes,
anger issues,
and fertility issues.
And take it from me, one highly anxious person to a bunch of possibly highly anxious people, one of the best ways to deal with this stress is through reading.
When we read, we're invited into a world where the focus is almost never on us. This is especially true with fiction, when oftentimes the world is very removed from our own. And as we stated before, reading requires 100% of your brain power, leaving none left to dwell on your toils and troubles.
Another excellent cure for stress is a good night's sleep, and it has been proven that an exceptional way to improve your sleep is by reading a book before bed.
With all these factors combined, a study from the world-renowned University of Sussex, states that reading can reduce your stress levels by 68% in just 6 minutes. This is by far the most effective way to reduce your stress.
But where to begin with reading? Many people feel overwhelmed by the vast amount of literature in the world, but honestly, the best way to start is just by picking up a book that interests you, no matter what age or skill level it was written for. So, to end our talk, we'll recommend some of our favourite books to help you on your new reading journey.
I'm going to start with The 100-Year-Old Man Who Jumped Out the Window and Disappeared. This book is really good. You follow the past and present of an exceptionally charming old guy who's unknowingly had a hand in many of the most important events throughout history. Give it a read.
The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean is a brilliant urban gothic fantasy about the horrible, self-destructive, inhumane things we do to protect those we love. It's a story about bodily autonomy, about the beauty of queer love, about the joy in escape, but most importantly, about the savage devotion a mother directs towards her children.
The Secret Runners book in New York is the best apocalypse book because it's not a post-apocalypse book, it's a pre-apocalypse book. That's a lot more interesting. Maybe you think it's a lot more interesting. Give it a try.
The Priory of the Orange Tree feels like a breath of fresh air in the modern world of tropey fantasy romances. With an endlessly immersive world, a cast of wonderfully deep characters, and a romance subplot where you can feel the intense love and respect these two women feel for each other, this book is a must-read for any fantasy fan.
Anything by Matthew Riley or Michael Crichton is a must-read if you love fast-paced and intense action books, which I do. I especially recommend Ice Station Next and the Jurassic Park books. They're really good.
And if full novels aren't your style, I truly can't recommend the manga series Shimeji Simulation enough. While it's a little weird and hard to describe, just know that it's especially funny, sweet, and thought-provoking.
And with all that said, we thank you for being such a great audience and for listening to our TED Talk.
Yep, we hope you enjoy your new reading adventure.